Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sales Guys Unlimited Sales Growth Podcast. I'm Fred Caglietta here today again with
Kevin Campbell.
And just kind of starting off with our second podcast here to review some exciting new things that are to come in the future episodes. We do have our Instagram up now where you can follow us with daily updates, not only our future episodes, but just kind of some quotes and some fun stuff that we like to do on an everyday basis. The link will be on our bio section below, and also our Facebook page. We appreciate following on there too, where you'll also see again constant updates or just kind of fun things or question and answers, and then also our email address, which is also listed below, in case you guys, anybody out there has questions or suggestions or things that we could do in our future episodes to come.
Yeah.
So again, very exciting. Second one, to be here again and just continue to grow. As in our name, sales growth, not only growth in business sales aspects, but really all aspects of a selling process and business. So today we just want to touch on a few things of what's to come. So Kevin, if you want to start it off, just kind of recap what we kind of talked about earlier.
Sure.
That'd be great.
Absolutely. Fred, thanks for that intro. Very excited as well to be here. Got a lot of great content that we're going to be sharing with you. Today's topic, a very powerful one. Essentially, we're going to be looking at the sales process, understanding it, determining if you have one, what that sounds like, looks like. We understand it's going to vary from business to business, industry to industry, but nonetheless, there is a framework that we believe really needs to take place on every single job that you go to. And again, we're going to go into some of the pitfalls that we see, some of our clients that we discuss things with, and how we get them back up and running very quickly. You want to walk through that?
Yeah, so it's, really for me or Kevin or, kind of any sales profession, we call it a sales process. Some guys have a 6-step, some guys have a 5-step, maybe you have a 3-step. Everybody has a different step, but I think the importance is that you're following the step. And that's where in our next kind of segment in a future episode will really go is the sales process, but also following the sales process. So, we're all humans and creatures of habit. So as we do things on an everyday basis, not only in our regular lives, but sales, are you following that process? I think one of the worst things you can do is, deviate from the process. And I think also one of the great things of, the sales professional is also realizing if you skip the process and then making sure that you go back to it. So that's one of the things we really want to focus on is, making sure, do you have a sales process? And if you're one of those people that maybe struggle with it or don't have it, really a platform that we've found, successful. And also, things that could go wrong during the sales process or, what might deviate you from your actual sales process or throw you off. I know Kevin was talking about maybe you want to reference the one instance, just kind of like a snippet of like a fence sale where, you had went to and kind of threw you off.
Sure. So in our business, we're in the exterior renovation business, and ultimately we will run fence appointments, and very common practices for the customer to be very excited about the job itself, and ultimately want to meet us or greet us at the car, which we affectionately call the ambush. But we need to take direction on that, and no matter what, with any sales process, we want to make sure that we are in total control of that appointment. And what I mean by control is I am subconsciously setting the sales process with them. Now, I've done that on my pre-call, which again we'll cover in future episodes. But ultimately, I'm setting the groundwork for them and setting the expectations that when I do arrive at their home, what will take place. Yes, we are coming out to see your home, pertinent to a fencing project. Many homeowners feel like it's not required that we go ahead and sit down at a table. Well, I have news for you. It is very important that we do that for a number of reasons. And one of the main things is because we are a solution-based, needs-based approach philosophy with the company we represent. So ultimately, we're not there to upsell them. We are there to listen to their needs and then supply them with the best solution. I mean, it's very simple. I think that statement transcends a lot of industries. and ultimately when we go to those appointments, we want to make sure we are very transparent and very consistent from the pre-call appointment to the actual appointment itself, and then carry through once into the pricing proposal, and then ultimately the closing phase of that. So there's no pulled punches here. We understand exactly what was stated at our pre-call, and then as we move forward through the interaction, the introduction, really, as we get to their home, whether it's them greeting us at the car or it might be the first interaction at the front door. So either way, it's again something that we need to keep in mind, and it keeps us honest, because we need to make sure we are going through that process each and every time, and understanding really what the customer's needs are. So
yeah, no, it's a great example, and hey, listen, it's no 1-2 customers are the same. Every time you kind of walk up, you don't know what you're running into.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But those are the keys. What we hope to bring is, by discussing our sales process and the process that you use, or different things to do, and obviously as we go down the road through our episodes and everything else, into like closing techniques, it's truly just a great profession in terms of how kind of adaptive you have to be on an everyday basis, but also keeping the same focus and line of sight. Without deviating from the process, harnessing everything back in. So those will really be the keys, to really our upcoming, probably our next 5 or 6 episodes. We're really going to focus in on that. And then obviously getting down and dirty into the sales, the masterful presentation, and all the other good closing stuff that we have to offer. And we're also going to have a couple of guest speakers too, so I wanted to kind of mention that as we also go through this. It's not just going to be about like sales, a couple different industries, trade show booth industry, one of Kevin's good buddies, financial kind of side of things, and a couple other business owners, what they've done and made them successful, and why their businesses strive as well too. So we're really going to touch on a lot of different things. So I thought I'd throw that in there as well too. Yep. And
keep them excited for a little bit in the upcoming episodes, for
keep,
sure.
Everybody, kind of harnessed in, and keep you guys on the edge of your seats. Really wanted to keep it a little bit shorter today, because obviously the next segments will really dive in and really focus again the sales process. What do you have? If you don't have one, why you should have one. And then we'll kind of have each separate segment for each individual step of the process along the way for you guys to follow through. So continue to look for those. Again, we'll have updates. Just to mention, if like us on Facebook, follow us. Our page, Instagram. Follow us on there. Again, there's some quotes, just kind of fun things every day that we'll have for you there, and just really excited for the future. Email us with any questions in the meantime, if you guys have any. And Kevin, if you just want to add a couple more things before we finish up.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yep. I think it's going to keep our followers pretty entertained, and really get them excited about the upcoming content that we have. And a couple things I really just want to pose some questions for a little self-reflection as you leave this podcast. Always be asking yourself, do I have a formal sales process? And then again, the follow-up question to that is, am I utilizing that each and every time with each and every customer? As Fred alluded to, you're not going to see the same customer day in and day out. Things do change. I mean, we cover 8 project categories on their own, so that brings in a host of variables. So ultimately, we want to be as prepared as we can, utilizing that framework. So each point is touched on each visit with every client. And again, we concede every appointment is different. We know that there are going to be some changes, and you really have to be fluid on your feet to think about, how am I going to regain that control of the meeting? When it does go off the rails, how do you recover? What do you do? What do you say tactfully to bring them back, and just kind of pull back on the leash a little bit and say, okay guys, here, I'm still in control. I'm not letting you know that, but ultimately as the meeting progresses, you reintroduce control to the meeting, because that's the expectations you've set. When you started the meeting, you set those parameters that, hey, this is what I'm going to look to do. We're going to talk. We're going to warm up a little bit. We're going to get to know you. Ultimately, I want to hear from your side of the table. What is it that's bringing us together today? Based on those criteria that you've described to us, I'm going to propose the best solution for you. And ultimately, through value building, at the end, we're now going to really ask you for that sale. So again, just pose those questions to yourself. Write them down. When I do go into a house, what do I do? How long do I take to do those things? There really is, and again, it's just a little tidbit of something else we're going to cover in the future is ultimately the amount of time that you spend on each area. In our particular case, we tend to utilize more of, say, a 4-step process, which really gets to the heart of why we're there and what we do. So we will be sharing that in a much deeper dive, as Fred alluded to. So that will be covered in the next subsequent weeks, which I'm very excited to share with you. Much the same that I've done that discovery process over the last 15 years. I really want to share with you. Again, when we first started this podcast, Fred and I kind of put our heads together and said, how can we share what we've learned? Because there's so many men and women out there that really want to get into the sales field, maybe unsure of it, maybe seasoned veterans that really say, hey, how can I really polish up my skills? So that's really why we're here. Very straightforward, transparent guys, just looking to help everyone out. So we thank you for following us. And Fred, do you want to close with anything?
Thank you. Like us, share us, follow us, all the things, and any questions, please, email us or ask in the meantime. If not, we're going to try to pretty much stay on a weekly schedule with this, so look for the episode to drop next week, and then each individual segment on those things to come. And probably the next couple months or so, we're going to look to hold a sales seminar as well, too, so that's something to look forward to in the future as well. So thank you to everybody. Have a great day, and hope you're enjoying yourselves, and thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for your time, guys. Have a great day.